New data shows Ohio saw a 15% decline in abortions in 2022 compared to the year before. That decline comes after Roe v. Wade was overturned last year, and Ohio legislators quickly reinstated a ban on abortions after 6 weeks of gestation.
Pro-abortion rights groups sued, and months later, a state judge indefinitely blocked the law from going into place, citing infringement of privacy. Just days ago, both sides debated the merits of that injunction in front of the Ohio Supreme Court.
As Ohio voters will decide next month on abortion rights, News 5's Clay Lepard takes a closer look at the prevalence of abortions and what last year's 6-week ban did across the state.
It's a drop that certainly stands out on the graph. Data just released shows when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and Ohio reinstated its 6-week abortion ban, that led to a 15% decline in the number of abortions performed for all of 2022. The report published by the Ohio Department of Health breaks down the 18,000 abortions performed in Ohio, including by age, race, and number of weeks pregnant. Fewer than 2,000 occurred during the nearly 3-month stretch where the 6-week abortion ban was in effect. There were more than 1,500 teenage pregnancies terminated, with 42 of them involving girls younger than 15 years old.
This young girl, if she exists...
Remember the 10-year-old Ohio girl who traveled to Indiana after she was raped? The one state officials questioned? She makes up one of the 611 people from Ohio in 2022 who made the trip across state lines into Indiana. In 2021, that number was only 40. It's not clear exactly how many Ohioans traveled out of state last year to get an abortion. However, last year, Michigan saw a 65% increase in the number of abortions performed for those coming from out of state. Nearby Pennsylvania has not released their 22 statistics yet.
Many of the people we talked with after we got the injunction told us they had gone out of state or...
Sri Thakalapati runs Preterm, the independent nonprofit abortion provider clinic in Cleveland.
We saw a really sharp decline in the number of patients we were able to see.
As one of the largest abortion providers in the state, the 6-week ban caused a sizable dent in the annual 5,000 patients they see. After being turned away, some were still allowed to get an abortion, Thakalapati says, but not all of them.
I want people to know that some of those numbers, the decline in abortion, are people who were forced to give birth.
It was only in effect for a few short months in 2022.
The impacts of Roe falling was a short-lived victory for Kate Macra, given the state still performed thousands of abortions after the injunction.
That's still too many.
As a statewide right-to-life leader, she's traveling the state ahead of the November election.
We want to focus on those folks who are undecided and do our best to show them how dangerous this amendment is.
We caught up with her to go through the numbers in Summit County, a county where 1 out of every 6 abortions in the state are performed.
Yeah, if you put Cuyahoga and Summit together, you have 47% of all the abortions in the state of Ohio are right here in these 2 counties. And it's a travesty. You know, it's a genocide.
This report was released on Friday afternoon, just minutes before the close of business. That's a tactic commonly used by government and other agencies to minimize the number of people who learn about a report. However, as we see more and more TV ads, billboards, and mailers on this issue, we're reporting on these numbers, not to sway you one way or the other, but as part of a core journalistic responsibility to give you pertinent information on where things stand. Ohioans will vote on this issue on Tuesday, November 7th. Clay Lepard, News 5.